Welcome to tonight's Teaching with Technology webinar. Tonight's topic is going to be Power Up Your PowerPoint Presentations with Mix. We'll start out by just talking about what is Mix. Mix is an add-on, or you might hear it called a plug-in or an app, that attaches itself, installs itself into PowerPoint. And it allows you to add features to your PowerPoints that wouldn't otherwise be there. For example, it gives you the ability to record each slide of your PowerPoint. In other words, record yourself doing the PowerPoint presentation, describing what you would normally describe if you were in class, talking about what you would normally be saying if you were in class. With each slide, you can record it slide by slide, or you can record the entire presentation. It also allows you to record your screen, and it allows you to do things like add quizzes to your PowerPoint, and it gives you a place to save your PowerPoints in a location that is available only to Midway University students. So that addresses some privacy concerns. I hear some faculty talking about they don't like the idea of recording their lectures and putting them on YouTube for students because that's too public. Mix will give you the ability to save to Midway University's Office 365 account so that only people who are Midway University students can access this. And of course, then you can add your link to your movie that you make or your link to your PowerPoint into your Moodle course and share your lecture with your students. So Mix gives you the opportunity to have a little bit more personal interaction with your students by recording your lecture, and it also allows you to make your lecture more interactive by including quizzes. Those are its major benefits. So how do you get Mix? You have to download it. To download Mix, you would go to this URL. It's https://mix.office.com/en-us/home. And I'm just going to break out of the PowerPoint presentation here and take us over to that website. So if you go to that website, you will see it's very easy to download the add-in. You just click right here where it says Get Office Mix, and it downloads. You double click on it and install it. Just follow the instructions to install it. And after you install it, you will see a new tab in your PowerPoint. You will have this Mix tab. So what can you do with Mix once you have the Mix tab? We're going to talk about how to make a recording of your presentation with Mix, how to add a quiz, and how to upload your Mix and see analytics. We'll start with how to make a recording. And I haven't gone back out into presentation mode because I want you guys to be able to see this tab with all of its features. So to start out, how do you make a recording using Mix? When you go to the Mix tab, you have the slide recording button right here. If I click on slide recording, I get a view of my slide, but then I also get this menu up here at the top, and I get this menu over here. First, I have to choose the camera that I'd like to use for my recording if I want to have my face in this spot. For right now, I'm going to choose no camera because that would mess with my Zoom recording with our webinar and cut you guys off, and that wouldn't be very helpful. But if you were just doing this recording of your PowerPoint presentation and you wanted to add your face to the presentation to make it even more personal, you could do that by choosing your camera. And then you also choose the microphone associated with your computer. and you can see that it's working when you choose that, because you can see this little bar right here jumping back and forth. And then once you've got all that set up, you go up here to this top menu and you click record. You can see with the little moving ant trail along the edge of your slide exactly what's being recorded. And you'll notice that my pointer has turned into a pen. I can use that pen to choose a color of ink over here and make annotations on my slide as I go along. Once I'm finished, satisfied with my recording of this slide, I can either advance to the next slide and continue my recording, or I can just go ahead and click stop recording. I'll go ahead and click stop recording, and then I can close this. And notice when I go back to my PowerPoint presentation, now over here I have this little icon which shows that there has been a recording added to this slide. I can see whether I like it by clicking on it. Record. You can see with the little moving ant trail along the edge of your slide. So you can see how that worked. If I don't like it, then I can either edit it or I can delete it by just making it be highlighted like it is right now and hitting the delete button, and it goes away. If I want to make this go away, I can just click on it, hit the delete button on my keyboard, and make it go away. So that's how I would add recordings. I'll pause for a second to see if anybody wants to unmute or put a question in the chat window. Okay. No questions on that. So we will go ahead on to how to add a quiz. I think one of the coolest features of Mix is, in addition to allowing you to make a recording, and there are other ways that you could make a recording of your PowerPoint presentation prior to Mix coming along. In addition to adding a recording to your PowerPoint presentation, you can now add a quiz to your PowerPoint presentation. So, for example, if I get over to a point in my presentation where it would be logical to add a quiz question, I can add a new slide and go to quizzes, videos, apps, and add a quiz like this one. What product does Mix work with? And you can see I can allow a single choice answer or multiple choice answers. In other words, single choice will only allow you to pick one answer. Multiple choice will allow you to pick multiple answers. I can shuffle the answers and put them in any order. I can allow students to retry until they get it right. I can limit the number of attempts they get to try to get it right. If I want to add more options, I can add another option. The item that's the right answer has a green check mark next to it. If I don't like this one, I can click the trash can and make it go away. If I want to add feedback, I can click on the little speech balloon to add my feedback. Not very nice feedback, but that'll do for now. And then I can see what it looks like. Choose my wrong answer, click submit, get my feedback. Choose my right answer, click submit, get some feedback, and get the opportunity to continue. Okay, so let's do one of those from scratch and see what it would be like. I'm going to go ahead and add a new slide, a new blank slide. And I'm going to go up here to quizzes, videos, and apps. And after I learn a moment of patience, this gives me a list of possible types of quizzes that I can add. The one that we just demonstrated was a multiple choice quiz. I can do a multiple response poll. I can do true and false quizzes. For math professors, there's built-in GeoGebra and the PhET Sims built-in quizzes, which are absolutely excellent if you haven't used those before. But I'll just do another sample of this multiple choice quiz. I can click on that and click Add. And then that loads a blank template for me. And it's pretty obvious what you're supposed to do. It tells you, insert the question here. So I will highlight that and make that go away and add a question. Actually, let me do an example of a multiple choice one. I'll do what color are grapes. And then I will choose, in this case, allow multiple choices. And I'll add some options. And I'll add some more options. Oops, tried to spell orange right. And what's one more color? Okay, now I'll choose my correct answers. Since I've chosen allow multiple choices, it allows me to check multiple correct answers. I'll put feedback for the wrong answers. I can allow retries, like I said. I can limit the amount of attempts to 2 to get it right. And then I can click preview to make sure that it works. Let me see the feedback that I get. So I can try again. And find out I got it right. So that's how easy it is to add a quiz slide. I'll pause for a second to see if there's any questions on that. Okay. Then our last topic is, once you have created a PowerPoint and added your voiceovers and your quizzes, or I should point out, once you've taken a PowerPoint that you've been using for years and added a voiceover and quizzes if you'd like, so you can reuse PowerPoints that you've already made. Once you have it the way that you want it, what do you do with it? The best way to save your mix is to use the built-in Upload to Office Mix button on the Mix tab. And I'll show you why. But first, I will go ahead and upload my newly created PowerPoint to Office Mix by clicking on that button. When I do that, it asks me what I want to do, create an interactive online mix and share it with others. I need to prepare it and create it. So I'll go ahead and click Next. And I'm going to go ahead and say I'm uploading a new one, even though this one's already up there. And I'm going to go ahead and click Create a Video so viewers can watch this mix offline and on mobile devices. Hopefully it won't take too long. And then I'm going to click Next. And you can watch its progress right here. It's exporting to video. Once it was up there, it would show you complete little green check marks for each one of those steps that it had to go to. And then it would give you the opportunity to go see it. Or if you just wanted to come in and see the ones that you've already done, you can go to the Mix tab again and click on My Mixes. And it'll open up Internet Explorer or Edge or whatever your default web browser is. And it'll ask you to log in using your Midway credentials. And once you're signed in, you can look at mixes that you've watched in the past, or more importantly, the ones that you've uploaded. Now, why is this important? You can give it a title and a description, add categories and tags to it if you'd like to. You can control who can see your mix. By default, it is only people in your organization can view it, which means that a person, in order to see your mix, has to be an employee or student of Midway University. So this is more private. This is a more private storage area than YouTube, which is more comfortable for a lot of professors. You can check this box to allow people to download it if you want. You can check this box to allow people to make comments, or uncheck it to disallow that. Here is the link that you would put in your Moodle course so that people can find your PowerPoint presentation with your voiceovers and your quiz. And you can view a sample of it here just to make sure it's exactly the way you like. If you want to keep a copy of it as an MP4 file, you can download it right here. I didn't make any changes, so I don't have to save it, but I could if I wanted to. Well, actually, I did make a change. I unchecked allow comments. So once I've done those things using details, people can watch my mix because I've linked to it in my Moodle course or sent them the link. And once somebody has watched it, then I can go to Analytics. And when I click on Analytics, I can see slide by slide how many people have watched the slide, how many views it got, the average time spent on that slide. For my quizzes that I built in, I can see how many people looked at the quiz, viewed it, how long they spent on it, and what their scores were. And this is by slides. If I want to, I can look at this by visitors. I've only had myself look at this particular sample, but you can see that for me, I watched the entire slide presentation. I took the quiz and got a 100% on it. And this is how much time I spent looking at the presentation overall.
Caroline?
Go ahead, Becky.
Yes. When you have the quizzes and if you wanted them to count, is this how you would be able to see how people did on the quiz and who took it?
Exactly. Yes. Okay. That's exactly what you would do. You would, instead of just saving the presentation and uploading it to YouTube, which is also a possibility, you would keep it here in Mix, share. Let me go back here. You would share from details this link right here in your Moodle course. And then when people watched it, you would be able to go to Analytics and view by visitors, and you would see a list of all the people who did it and what grade they got on all the quizzes you built in there, and then you would be able to put that grade into Moodle. Now, there isn't an integration where this grade would go automatically into Moodle. You would have to create an assignment in Moodle and then manually enter those grades. But if you wanted the grades to go into Moodle, but you can definitely see how people did on the quizzes. So you can hold people accountable for looking at the PowerPoint and doing the quizzes in it. The caveat to that is when I save, I should mention, when I save in Moodle with this link, when someone goes to click on that link, if someone's in Moodle and they click on that link, it's going to ask them to log in to Office 365 using their Midway username and password. So you may have to put a few instructions in Moodle the first time you insert a PowerPoint like this that says, something like, click on this link. After you click on this link, you will be asked to log into Office 365, enter your Midway username and password. And so then people will be able to watch and you'll be able to get those analytics. Are there any other questions? Either you can unmute yourself or put a question in chat. Okay. And then I'm going to go back out here. That is the end of our presentation for tonight. I hope that you guys have seen some value in Mix as a tool to add interactivity into your online lectures, your online PowerPoints, and as a good way to get some analytics on whether your students are actually bothering to look at the PowerPoints that you put in Moodle.